Here we have a typical oil-filled convection heater. Let's have a look at the controls. So here we have our little bimetal thermostat. So that's the control around the front here. And you'll see that working. So that's your main control thermostat. Then we have our selector switch. The selector switch has got the phase looped here, and it's two switches for the two elements that are down in here. So here we have our neutral, which is common. It's a little bit rusty in here. And the yellow wire is going to one element, and the red wire is going to the other element, and the blue wire here is the neutral. As a safety, we have this little tilt switch, and it just operates the micro switch, if you hear that, and also up this way as well. So as soon as the heater goes off the vertical, this micro switch will open and shut the power off the heater so it won't set fire to the carpet if it falls over. Down in here we have our connection for our incoming supply, our phase, neutral and earth. And here we have a little micro temp. This is in case somebody maybe puts a towel or something like that over the heater. This is a one shot. So when this here actually opens circuits, you've got to then buy a new one and connect it in circuit here. Never ever be tempted to bridge this out. This is very important because this is going to give protection against the heater overheating and maybe something bad happening with the oil inside of it. So it's called a micro temp. There's a little spring and the whole thing basically just lets go when the temperature exceeds a predetermined level, and it'll then open circuit. Sort of stick this up again, hopefully it won't fall over again. So down here we have another cutout. This one here is a little bimetal safety which is connected directly onto the heater itself. So this is picking up the temperature of the actual heater due to the hot oil inside of the heater. Down in here around the element you can sort of see the signs of oil, if you like. That's the element. I haven't actually pulled one of these elements out to see what it's like, but imagine it'll be a couple of short MIMS elements that go across the bottom section here of the heater. And as I said, there's the bridging of the two elements for the common neutral, which is the blue wire, and the red for one element and the yellow for the other element. So up here on the selector switch, the blue wire up top here is actually the supply neutral for the little indicator lights on the front of the switches here. So when it's in position 1 or 2, the little red light will come on. There's a little LED in there that comes on. So these are fairly basic, but they do have some interesting control devices within them. So if you're learning about basic control, this little thermostat here is a typical bimetallic operated thermostat that controls the power to the heater. We set the desired temperature on the front here. I'm sure you've seen that being done many times. And then the other quite nice safety device is this little pendulum tilt switch. You could take this out and use it for some other application, I'm sure. So the biggest thing really to go wrong on these when they don't work is just replacing the micro chip. You can pick these up pretty easily. Any electronics shop or appliance servicing shop should have these, and you could either solder it back in, or you could re-crimp it back into the circuit here. Part numbers, my camera's not focusing too well on it, but you'll get the part number off this as well. Okay, so hopefully that's given you a little bit of an insight to the control circuitry of one of these little typical oil fin heaters. This one is in pretty poor condition. It's one that we use for students so that they can get an understanding of the workings of these little heaters. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully this has given you some idea of what is inside of one of these small oil fin heaters.